السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. First of all, I have to step one step behind Sheikh because I am not really as in his level because خير المرء من عرف قدر نفسه. اللهم اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي امري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. امين. يا رب. اللهم اهدني فان من هديت لا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا ولا مرشدا. امين يا رب. We're gonna make it a social talk today, so we're gonna really participate in with all of us. Okay, so I want to make it sure that we're gonna be an interactive talk. I'm not going to be just the lecturer or the speaker. So I want to, have everybody to participate. Just so nobody will fall to sleep, nobody will doze off, and nobody will get bored or stuff like that.
Sound good?
So anyway, I'm going to start my talk today by making a poll. Okay, I'm going to ask a question and I want to see the answers by show of hands. Okay? And please, everybody will participate. So my first question is, who likes to be strong? Strong not in the sense of bodily strong or physical strong. It could be also this one, but I want to make sure that it's really spiritually strong. Okay? Strong in his prestige, strong among his family, strong among his work, be decisive, be active and stuff like that. So show of hands, please.
Let's say everybody, your hand up.
So that is fine, somebody showed his both hands, which is really keen to be that. Okay, that would be fine. And in the meantime, by being strong, who would like to be, assume that you are a really strong man, okay, God give you the strengths you are really looking for. Who also would like to be recognize truth and you will be cheering for الحق والعدل? Who would like to be trustworthy and always support the truth and العدل? I see people don't really care. I mean, we're not really living in this life just to eat and sleep and just have kids and stuff like that. That's fine. Okay.
Dr. Ibrahim, I just have a comment about the strong Muslim. I think the hadith from Prophet Muhammad saying that المؤمن القوي خير من المؤمن الضعيف.
That's what I meant. I mean, strong doesn't have to be physically strong. You don't really have to be built up and muscles and stuff like that. But I want to be swift, I want to be decisive, I want to be taking action. And I want to see, you're strong when you see something wrong, you're trying to rectify it. That's the strength I really mean. So now we talked about strengths, we talked about truth and justice, okay? And who wants to be just in his decision among all of the other people? To be just, to be fair, not to oppress anybody, whether he is a king or whether he is a slave or whether he is, whatever he is. Okay, so I think those are three good characters. Everybody's dreaming of. Okay, but do you really think that you can possess all those three things in the same time? You can be strong, you can be just, okay, and you can be supporting al-haq, the truth. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to be this. Just let's look at our life right now, okay? The strong really dictates all his orders and rules, everything among them. The strength prevails. Okay, look at the countries. The strong country really prevails, oppresses the small countries, oppresses the weak countries. The strong man oppresses his servants, oppresses his slaves. The manager with his prestige, and he could be really unjust to his people. Okay, unfortunately, this is the life we are in. Okay, and tell me if you can really come up with somebody in the world, okay, in the history, whether it's a recent history or an old history, who really possesses those three things. Very difficult to come up with somebody. But our religion, our faith, our Sahaba. Yes.
Can you repeat the three things again?
Yeah, the three of them: strength, al-haq, which is truth, and justice, to be just. To possess the three of them. Of course, we're all dreaming to have all of those things, but it will be a very big mission. It will be very big accountability on us to persuade it. Okay, so if we really look in our history, you know, the history of our history of Islam, okay, 1400 years ago, okay, yes, there were somebody like that.
Yes, of course.
There were somebody like that. Can anybody name one like that? Besides Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam هو المصطفى وهو وحي يوحى ومن عند الله. We cannot approach Rasulullah because he is far away from being approached. Okay? We are trying to imitate him. We're trying to be as close as possible to his behavior, but I don't think we will ever be as good as he is. Can you name somebody?
Omar ibn Khattab.
Omar ibn Khattab. Anybody else?
Abu Bakr.
Abu Bakr. Okay. Yeah. Well, those are good role models. We are always looking for to be. Dr. Said, we really.
We're trying.
Umar ibn Abdul Aziz.
Omar Abdul Aziz. There are so many of them. So you all mentioned people from the Sahaba. So they're really good people, really worth to be followed, really to be imitated. Okay. Personally, for me, my favorite, my role model is Omar ibn Khattab.
Yeah.
Radiallahu anhu wa ardah. And that guy, really, you know, I mean, he possesses the three things and he executed the three things in a perfect manner.
Victor, again, what is the three things? This is, you have to stop here, Imam. Yeah, احنا يعني الصراحة Doctor is so good subject to have to open it today. والله. What is the three things? He said what? Power?
Power
And just, haq, truth.
and justice.
You know, if somebody, three of them, they cannot come in one person. Except Omar ibn Khattab and anybody similar to him. Because when you have power, justice will disappear. This is what the doctor said. This is 100%. Except من رحم رب طبعا. Why? Because most people, when they get power, they transgress.
Right.
Power transgress على طول. That's why you cannot really, if you're not strong like Omar ibn Abdul Aziz, like this kind of Sahaba and Tabi'in, three of them, they cannot work together.
Right.
But it's difficult. It's
You
difficult.
see always,
Power with justice.
yeah, you see always power and the haqq and justice are in opposite direction.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Never meet.
Right.
If haqq really comes towards the power, that's fine. But otherwise, the power is always prevails. Always prevails. Okay, yes.
If we get that opportunity, we may be the same.
May not be what?
No, we may be the same if we get the
The same.
opportunity. Yeah.
No, I don't think so. It's not easy, wallahi.
It's very difficult.
When you will be in the position and you get the power, this is gonna change. Believe me. If you have to have a strong imam like Omar, يعني it's not easy. يا جماعة الخير, when you have power and position, you're gonna be a different person. Don't think you say yes because you're sitting in the masjid, you have some iman now.
It
But
is.
when you come to the position and the power, nobody
It
gonna
is
talk to you. You will not talk to anybody.
Unintentionally, when you
Everything
find
is
yourself in a big position, in big prestige, unintentionally you can look down to something.
Exactly.
Unintentionally.
Yes, wallahi.
You don't really mean it, but your circumstances, will direct you towards that.
Right.
Omar ibn Khattab just violates that rule. He really combined all of those three beautiful characters.
Yes.
Okay, and that's why we love him.
Do you know where?
That's what. Yes.
Jazakallah khair. Amr ibn Khattab, he used to put somebody, his name was Ka'b al-Ahbar. He was a Jewish man and he became Muslim, scholar. All the time he used to tell him, Ka'b, when Umar ibn Khattab used to see himself like Omar, the leader of the mu'mineen, power. And during his time, the Muslim Ummah, they were controlling the earth. Yes, more than 75% of the earth under the hand of Omar bin Khattab. And they used to say, Ya Ka'b al-Ahbar, remind me. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told him, Omar, kafa bil maut wa'idan ya Omar. Rasulullah, he knew Omar gonna be somebody. He said, kafa bil maut wa'idan. Don't forget death, ya Omar. And Sayyidina Omar himself, he used to count himself every day. And he used to say to himself like that, to put himself down. One time, one Sahabi,
I am coming to that.
Father.
Excuse me for the interruption. Okay, I mean, Dr. Said is actually supplementing my talk. Okay, it makes it more beautiful. Okay, but we can talk about Omar ibn Khattab for hours and hours,
For
and
days.
we will never give him what he really deserves. Okay, but despite that, he combined all those three characteristics. He was so humble. Okay, Amir al-Mu'mineen, Aba Hafs, Al-Faruq. What are beautiful names somebody like that he got. Okay, but he was so humble. So to make it short today, I'm gonna give you some examples, some exemplary things from his life to show his strengths, his just, and his attachment to Al-Haq. Okay? But before I do that, let me give you something about how humble he was. In his position, he's the leader of almost like what Dr. Said said, 75% of the world at that time. Okay? One time he went to the mosque and he called everybody, As-salatu jami'a. When the people at that time here, As-salatu jami'a, they come and rush, something important is going to be said. And Imam is going to tell us something really important, so we are all ears to listen to that. So he stepped up on the podium, okay, and he started saying, to Musalliyin, okay, you know you guys, okay, كنت في الزمان الماضي. In the past, when I was a little boy and a young person, I used to go to the families and the old women and clean their homes and milk their cows and their sheep and clean underneath them, okay, and spend all day such small bad jobs, okay, just to give me few dates, just a few dates. Okay, so don't look at me the way I am right now, but I'm telling you about that's my history, you know. So don't really be, be surprised, okay. And then he stepped down. Okay, that's all what he said. So Ali ibn Abi Talib told him, "Oh ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, ma araka illa annaka ahanta nafsak. Ahanta nafsak. You really despised yourself. You really, criticized yourself, and you made yourself image is really bad." He said, "That's ya Ali, exactly what I wanted." Okay, حدثتني نفسي. One time, I was between me and myself, and just said, "Oh, I am Amir Mu'mineen. I could do this and this and this, but I better remember who I am, who I was." So that's how humble. That was the greatest man at that time.
Humiliation.
Yes. Anyway, so he really humiliated himself. Okay. So let me give you there are so many examples. Okay. So we're gonna go an example with Qawl, okay, and then Rahma, and then another example for La'ab. Okay. Let's see the Qawl. Okay. At that time, okay, 75% of the world were under his control, under his rule. Okay. Who's ruling the whole thing? Asham, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan was under his control. Okay. Al-Iraq was under his control. Egypt was under his control, and Amr ibn al-As was the way there. And Iran, and expanded all his kingdom, okay, all the way probably he reached south of Russia, Azerbaijan or Azerbaijan, whatever it is, I don't know how to pronounce it. Okay. So that shows you about his kingdom. See, he was a ruler. His word was heard among all of those things. Nobody could really stand against him. Malik al-Furs, Malik al-Furs, Kisra, وَمَلِكُ الرُّومِ Herakl. Whenever they hear his name or they know anything about him, they tremble, they shake, they are afraid. This is the guy who really is gonna, you know, I mean, he's ruling all of those things. Okay, so that's how powerful he was. Okay, that's how powerful he was. So let's take an example about his mercy. That's Rahmah. His mercy. Okay. One time, which is among many times, Omar ibn Khattab used to go at night, walking in at night, and just, you say, يتحسس الناس, means that just going and looking for his people. Somebody's crying, somebody's sick, somebody is, he needs something, somebody has a problem. And he didn't do that only one night, he did it every night, just to go to see his people, how they are doing. Okay? So one time, from far away, he saw, fire. Saw a fire. Okay, so he approached it. He had his servant with him. I think his name was
Nafa.
Yarfa. Yarfa, I think. Yarfa or Nafa. Okay, he was his servant. So they approached the fire. Okay, and he approached it just to say, and he's talking to the people of the fire. Okay, but he didn't say good night, the people of the fire. He said good night, ya Ahl al-Daw. Ya Ahl al-Daw. See, ya people of light. He didn't see how polite he is. He didn't say good night or hi or hello or whatever it is. Of course, we're not going to say that. Assalamu alaikum ya Ahl al-Daw. People of light. Daw is much better than fire. So what he found one lady, old lady sitting, and she had her kids are crying and crying and crying, and she had a pot and she's boiling water on it, and the kids are crying. So he had told her, why are your kids crying? Well, she said, well, I mean, we don't have any food, and they are hungry. I don't know what to do. She said, well, how about the pot? Aren't you cooking something in this pot? She said, no, this is just water. I'm just keeping them quiet. I'm just fooling them. They might think that there's food, so maybe they will go to sleep.
Camouflage.
Oh God, I mean, he really felt so sorry, and he ran. And his servant behind him, running, went back to the Bayt al-Mal. Okay, and he got some wheat and some food and flour and everything, and he carried it by himself. Okay, and he went back and said, and his servant, yeah, Amir al-Mu'mineen, let me carry it instead of you. You don't have to. He said, no. Who's gonna carry it for me when day of judgment before God? I'm gonna be asked about that. And he ran over there, and he started cooking the food for the kids, and he gave it to kids, and the kids were really happy. And he was cooking it, and said, keep going, and starving, I'm doing and struggling, and putting the fire, on and everything. And the lady told him, oh, she didn't really know that he's Amir al-Mu'mineen. Oh, really? You are much better than Amir al-Mu'mineen. You are much better than Amir al-Mu'mineen.
Yeah. She said that I wish our Amir al-Mu'mineen was
it
like
would be
you.
like that, okay? So he told her, okay, ya Imra, tomorrow, inshallah, okay, come and see me in fi bayt Amir al-Mu'mineen. Maybe you will find me there. Okay, so that's how Rahim he is. Okay, Rahim in doing that, Rahim in saying the good word, ya Ahl al-Daw, rather than ya Ahl al-Nar and stuff like that. So let's take one about Al-Adl, about how justice he was. Okay, it's a story also. Those are all stories, and I believe they are really true. Okay, I'm sure they are in the Sirah. Okay, in the Sirah, and probably he has so many events with Rasulullah, of course. Okay, but let's talk about one example about his justice. Okay, and then we're going to finish by this. Okay, about his justice. Okay, in Egypt. Okay, in Egypt, one time they have usually have yearly carnival festivals. okay, where people, go racing and stuff like that. And horses were was very popular at that time. So they had a horse race, okay. And Egypt, that has Muslims and it has Copts, also Christians and stuff like that. So they started the race, okay. And races and getting the semi-final and the quarter-final and the final. And the final became between two people. Who are those two people? One Copt guy, Christian, with his horse, and the other one was the son of Amr ibn al-As. Amr ibn al-As was the ruler of Egypt at that time. Okay, so the final was between both of them. Okay, and they started the racing, and whose horses won? The horse of the Christian person. He won. And the other guy, the son of Omar ibn al-As, got so mad, and he just got a stick and started hitting that guy. How come you win? How come your horses win? Don't you know who I am? I am Ibn al-Akramin. And the guy just, he couldn't do anything. He's the son of the ruler, okay? But the guy really wants to convey that to Amir. So he knows that Amir al-Mu'mineen, Umar ibn al-Khattab, is a just guy, and if he explained that story to him, he will get his right. So he went from Egypt to Al-Madinah, okay, where Umar ibn al-Khattab is there, and he complained about him. Umar ibn al-Khattab got so angry, okay, and he sent a letter right away, okay, to Egypt, to Amr ibn al-As. Come and bring your son, both.
What did he say in the letter? What did he say in the letter? From Amr ibn Khattab, Amir al-Mu'mineen, إلى العاص ibn al-As.
إلى العاص ibn al-As. Oh, العاص ibn al-As.
إلى العاص ibn al-As, to the son of the disobedient, the son of disobedient. When my letter comes to you, send my son.
Yes.
Yes.
العاص ibn al-As. Okay, so
Yes.
they both came.
إلى العاص ibn al-As.
So they both came
Right.
in, okay, and sat down in front of Amir al-Mu'mineen, and Amir al-Mu'mineen told Ibn al-As, okay, take that stick and hit him back. Okay, so he did that.
I told the Coptic.
Yeah, he told the Coptic guy,
Yeah.
the one who was oppressed, the one who was beaten.
Yes.
Okay, take the stick and beat him.
Beat Ibn al-Akram.
Beat Ibn al-Akrami. Okay, so he did that. And then, he said, "You're happy?" He said, "I am happy. I took my rights." Okay, and he thanked him. And he said, "No, wait a minute. Okay, just also take the stick and hit al-As, his father."
Amr ibn al-As.
Father.
So
Amr,
he said, "Why Amir al-Mu'mineen? Amr ibn al-As didn't do anything. It's his son." He said, "Well, he did that because of the prestige and position of his father.
Yes.
Otherwise, he wouldn't do it."
Yeah, that's
Idrab al-Akramin, on his bald head. So he took his cap and he started hitting him. Okay, so he really doesn't distinguish between Christian or Jewish or Muslim. Whoever has the right, he will give him his
Justice.
right.
Justice for all, yeah.
So what can we be? What is the conclusion from all what I'm saying? That we really have to be just, at least just among your family. Be just with your wife, with your kids, just with your employees if you are in a
Especially when you get power.
Yes.
Because when you have power, you're gonna be a different person. If you're weak, maybe you will say Allah, Karbana. But when you get power, this is different, completely different. I saw that last week in social media. Doctor just reminded me about something. That Egyptian young boy who was making karate, racing with Kuwaiti, in Kuwait, they live in Kuwait. The Egyptian young boy, he beat up he won, the Kuwaiti young boy. And the kids, they hug each other. But I saw it in YouTube, what happened is the father of the one who lose, he came to the boy, the Egyptian boy, and he slapped his face in front of everybody. I said, what is this? What is this stupidity of Bedouin people? They are Bedouin. يعني صراحة يعني Egyptian cannot do that to the Kuwaiti if he's in Kuwait. Why? The kids, they are kids. Making karate, whatever. And he won your son. Why you go and hit him, stab his face, and they throw him in the... You remind me just about the story. يعني subhanAllah, just last week. It is in social media.
Maybe because he thinks he's better, he have the power, he have the money, so.
Yes,
Well,
but this
well,
is
This is the idea.
يعني
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense for me. يعني
Yes,
it's
no.
little
When you have all the means in your hand, okay, still be just.
Some people now, they still have that mentality, we are better than anybody else. God created me from gold, they are from iron, from a batik. But I'm better than, it's not like that. You're not better than anybody. Whatever, if you have power, money, whatever, one day, all this Kuwait, this 600,000 people, like the street in India, or the street in the current Cairo, all Kuwait. يعني, one day, Saddam Hussein take it. And the one who freed the Egyptian army. You know, don't forget this. Who are you? يعني, it's just some Bedouin. يعني, والله صراحة يعني. Sometimes it's too much. لا محمود حقيقة. It's too much. People now, they are stupid. صراحة. They have no justice when they have power. Money is power, and the gas is power, and this power, they think we are better than anybody. And it's not prestige. Slap his face, that's it. Sit down, you're a spot.
So
That's it.
any
I was having a Prophet Muhammad ﷺ warned us from two things: from the power, because people most likely would change, and also another fitna or temptation is the woman also. So that's the biggest two fitna, right? Power and woman.
والله يا جماعة, يعني excuse me, this is, do you know Mahmoud, I'm mad not because of the Egyptian. When you see Indian worker working in Dubai, or working in Gulf area, you see that Egyptian working in Jordan, and last year also some Jordanian Aqaba, he was beating that Egyptian guy. And the last year, like 3 people in Egypt, they've been killed by Kuwaitis, or by Saudis. What is this? What do you think who you are? You know, what do you think who you are? This is not right. That's why when we talk about power and justice, they will never come together in the same way nowadays. You know, why people humiliating people? Why? Because you have power? Because he's miskin? He want to work? He's not begging you. He's doing certain job, he's taking his salary. That's it.
Power.
We did not consider it like this way.
Power and justice are oxymoron.
يعني
Oxymoron
صراحة
in
احنا
the
يا جماعة we
sense-
have to touch it. It's a very important topic. والله. It is not just talking.
The two characters are oxymoron. They call them oxymoron.
Yes.
That means that they never meet.
Link it nowadays, you're going to see
They don't.
different characters,
They
different
don't.
people.
Okay. So anyway, anybody has any questions or comments or any whatever?
I said my comment already.
More comments. If the people understand the hadith of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, which is our first, he says, اتقي دعوة المظلوم فإنها ليس بينها وبين الله حجاب حتى لو كان كافرا. So if oppress anyone, even if he's not believer, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will answer his prayer. So, yeah.
Yes.
So when you wish for power, please, or ask God for power, ask Him also to be just. So
Yeah.
you might get both of them, and you will be as good as you can.
Want to hear from them?
Any comments or any question, or would you like me to continue about the subject and give you other example next time maybe?
Yes,
Inshallah.
Brother Siddiq.
Tafadhal, Brother Siddiq.
One thing over here is very clear that Omar radiallahu anhu, he actually hide his all fame, his positions, and all of those things to approach the normal people, general people. And overall, we can see his character is like a simple human being.
That's
That's
all
all from A to Z, unless the lady next day, she found out, this is Umar.
That's
And up to that point, he just act like a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yes.
that's true.
That's the insight.
That's about his humbleness, and probably that could be another topic we can talk
Doctor,
about.
next week we can inshallah continue Omar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
We'll continue Omar.
who wants to be like Omar?
All of us.
Oh, mashallah,
It's my role model.
mashallah.
والله صراحة I love him.
But it's too hard.
He has question. Ilham has question? No?
It's hard. It's like,
Abu Raed.
yeah. He's not a soft guy.
He's strong in الحق.
He's not like
لا he's soft يا
Rasulullah
شيخ.
sallallahu
He used to,
alaihi
Umar bin
wasallam.
Khattab, he had 2 lines in his face out of his tears and the cry.
Oh, yeah.
He was very soft يا شيخ. No.
We can
He was
talk about
strong
that.
in حق. But he was very soft.
Okay.
Abu
Brother
Raed.
Tawfiq, what is your
Comments?
Well, I just want to make a comment.
Yes,
Power-
sir.
Power and justice. We look at it in a big, in a macro this thing. It starts even from where you are. in your own household, power and just, if you are the man, they consider you to be the head of the household. If you cannot be just between your kids, or be just when your wife is doing something wrong and say, well, you know, this is family, I have to protect family. Instead of letting your wife know, the worst thing she can do is to pack her load and leave you and say that divorce.
What about if you have two wives, brother Tawfiq?
Well, that's where the problem comes in. You know.
Are you willing to get two wives?
Well, look, it's because, listen, I can say,
They know if you're not dealing justice with
it's
them.
something-
One
it's
of them,
something-
Mahmoud, look at me.
Answer the question.
listen, it's something that is forbidden in this country. You know.
Answer the question,
it's
please.
against the law. I'm just answering the question. If it's against the law in this country, you don't try to do it. I mean, even though we were warned by our Prophet, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we don't have to worship the authority, but we still have to make sure that, you know, we adhere to some of the rules and regulations that they lay down. So it's against the law in this country. You cannot have two wives in this country. That's the problem.
I know, but I'm talking about Islam.
Okay. In Islam, I can take it to the fall. I'm not afraid.
You know what Rasulullah said?
Yes.
If you have if you have two wives, you're not dealing justly between them. One of your shoulders will not be straight in the day of judgment. You're gonna see people walking like this. One up, one shoulder, another one's down like this. In the day of judgment, if you see anybody walking like this, means he had two wives and he was not dealing justly between them.
Yeah, that's
إحدى شقيهما اللي صوت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم said in the hadith. So you have to deal justly between your
You know,
wives.
just to put one thing, you know, I'm not going to mention it. Right here in Los Angeles, okay, I used to go to a masjid. I'm not going to mention that masjid.
Yeah.
I come there, I pray and everything, and we go out to do, going like taglib, doing things like that. But I noticed, I've been going before, and then, you know, every time when we go out, it's like, yeah, we have somebody who is leading us, right? But I ask myself, why would I continue to go with a group where I have to be mute? Like somebody who is deaf, and I mean, they don't ask you, okay, we're going to go and do something, what do you think?
Yes.
I mean, you don't know what kind of knowledge I have too.
Right.
And I see some things, you know, there was a time we went to LA, we went to one brother's store, he's selling alcohol, but don't go there and go and bash him, tell him you're going to hellfire because you're selling alcohol.
Why are you?
We are trying to get this brother to leave the store to come to masjid, because that's the message we always leave behind. Come to masjid, please, brother. But when you begin to criticize him about alcohol, the guy pull out a spraying bottle. He said, if you don't leave my store, I will spray you. I don't know what the guy get in the bottle. And, you know, we were being told, you cannot tell the Amir anything. Then I confronted him.
Yeah.
I mean,
You have
my
Amir,
nature is not to be quiet. I told the Amir, I said, look, listen, I know this is my
Amir
last
is
time
allowed.
I'm going with you. You're not going to allow me to go anymore. I think you are wrong the way you are.